In today's cooking show, I am featuring shrimp and cheese enchiladas and a side of guacamole. We're gonna have a Mexican fiesta, and I hope you enjoy, and I'm sure your family and friends are absolutely gonna love this dish. Okay, you can use siete tortillas, or I'm using GMO-free corn tortillas here. So I'm just putting a little bit of avocado oil. I'm just gonna stack them one on to each other because they will steam just nicely. This is an easy way to do it. That way you don't have to do one by one. Then you're just gonna wanna turn them over. So and as they get, all you're looking to do is just get them soft so they're easy to fold. And so this one has already been heated up. I'm just gonna flip that over and I'll just keep switching them back and forth until they are all completely soft. Okay, now this one is nice and soft on both sides. So I'm just gonna set it over here and then continue doing the rest of them. So you're just gonna flip it over. This one's already nice and soft. I'm gonna bring that over. Just keep flipping, it doesn't take too long. I chopped up some onion and red bell pepper and jalapeno peppers. I'm gonna saute that. This looks nice and soft. I did it in a little bit of ghee. So this is going to be part of the shrimp enchiladas. Okay, those look great, translucent. Added about a teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna set those aside. Here are some cremini mushrooms. I'm just gonna chop them up relatively small. And I'm going to be using these also in the mix. Now that we got those mushrooms all chopped up, I'm gonna add a little ghee to the pan and then saute them as well, just for maybe a minute, not very long at all. Add a little salt and pepper. Okay, those look beautiful. Just cook them for about a minute and a half. Add a little salt and pepper. I'll just set those aside. Okay, let's get started with the shrimp. I've got 2 bags of some wild caught shrimp, and I'm gonna cut them into bite-sized pieces. These are small garlic cloves, so like about 8 of them, some fresh oregano and parsley, and then we will be adding it to that beautiful mixture of sauteed onions and bell pepper and jalapeno and the mushrooms. Let's get started. Okay, we've got the garlic chopped finely and the oregano and parsley. I'm gonna saute the garlic in ghee, and then the oregano and parsley I will put in when I mix in the rest of the vegetables. So I'm not gonna cook it, just gonna add it in for flavor. Okay, I've sauteed the garlic in about 2 tablespoons of ghee. I like to use that organic ghee, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add the shrimp. Cook it just probably for less than 5 minutes. So after about 5 minutes, these little shrimp are beautifully cooked, and they will cook a little bit more once we stuff them. And so I'm going to drain some of that liquid because you don't want it soupy, and then we'll mix everything together. Okay, transferred the shrimp with a slotted spoon, and then I reserved the liquid. I can make a nice soup out of that. And now I'm going to go ahead and mix everything together. Mixing it all together, and you can just see it's dry, so we don't want it slurpy, so that it goes nicely into the tortilla or whatever you want to put it in, a cabbage wrap. Now that it's mixed really well, I'm going to let it cool down before I add the cheese. Okay, now that this shrimp mixture has cooled down, I'm going to add the cheese. So I've got some organic shredded 3-blend cheese, which is a little more Mexican style. So I'll be putting some cheese on top as well. So I'm using the siete enchilada sauce. I like the ingredients, they're clean. This makes it super easy. Probably add a little bit more in here, so probably a packet and a half. Just mix it in there nicely. So we've got the tortillas over here. We're just gonna dip them in the sauce. Just dip them lightly. You don't wanna, because we're going to put it on top as well. Put an ample amount in the inside. That way you can eat less tortilla and just have more filling. Of course, if you use the siete tortillas, they're a little less on the carbohydrate scale, and so are having a little party today, so I'm doing a traditional style. And we're gonna make some vegetarian enchiladas. So I've just got cheese. We're just gonna make them out of cheese and some chopped onions here. Super, super simple. So for the vegetarians, I'm gonna use a green sauce for this, a green enchilada sauce, again from Siete. I really like it. Very clean. So again, I'm just gonna rub a little bit on this because we're gonna be putting it on top. Anyway, I hatched chilies here, so I'm just gonna lay them on top as well. So these should be just delicious. Let's fill these up. So just use a brush, just makes it a little easier. It's like 3 or 4 slices on here. That would be nice. Okay, let's make some guacamole. So I just have a pretty large avocados here. So I have 5 of them. I have a big crowd today because we are going to have a little party for my daughter. She wanted Mexican fiesta. So this is something my mother did for us every birthday. We always had a little dinner party and got to invite all our friends over amongst our 10 brothers and sisters as well. You want to make sure you get all of the, if there's any brown in there, which oftentimes there is, you want to get that off. I'm going to use a potato smasher. So that looks pretty good. It's smooth. I've got about 4 spring onions here, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. I chopped them relatively fine. And then I also have some cilantro. That's about, I'd say, a little bit less than a half a cup. I've got some jalapeno pepper here. Now, depending on how hot you want it, I also got a serrano chili here as well. So the jalapeno and the serrano, this one's going to be a lot hotter. And so I'll just put a little at a time. I've got some lemon juice here, so I'm just going to go, I've got 3 lemons so far. So we'll see if we need any more. You can use limes as well. I'm going to be adding some garlic powder, so you can add fresh garlic if you like as well. But I like to do the powder. And then about a good teaspoon of salt. I'll probably add a little bit more. And then again, I'm not putting all that serrano in there because, I don't want it to be too hot. But at the same time, we want to give it a little bit of a kick. Go ahead and taste it. Put a little rest of that lemon there. I think it's got a good little kick, so I probably won't add any more of the serrano chili. So I used half, but I will add a little bit more salt and a little bit more garlic powder. So this would be beautiful as an accompaniment to the enchiladas. So, so, so easy. Delicious. I like it nice and zesty and lemony. Now I save a pit. And I'm just going to put that in the center, and then that way it'll keep it nice and green. Okay, and just to add the final touches, I'm going to put this green enchilada sauce on the cheese ones. And I'm going to add some cheese on top. I top it off with a little bit of the hatch chilies that were left over. When these come out of the oven, I'll be putting some chopped cilantro on there as well. Okay. Okay, and for the shrimp, I'm going to be putting this red sauce. Delicious. You don't want to put too much, but at the same time, you don't want it to dry out. I'll probably put a little parchment with a little bit of foil over the top. I don't like the foil to touch it. So I'll probably add a little parchment. That way they can cook nice and slow. Be cooking them at 350 probably for about 20 minutes until they bubble. Go ahead, add a little hatch on there that's left over. I'm just gonna pop these in the oven. Okay, we're just gonna put a little bit of cilantro on here, add the final touches. So here's the shrimp ones, look gorgeous. And then also the cheese with the hatch chili. Okay, these are absolutely delicious. So we're celebrating my daughter's birthday today, so we are really looking forward to having a great Mexican fiesta.